Hello, everyone. My name is Frank Foster Jr. I come to you today in the hopes of sharing a vision. In this vision, I am to head not just a new political party, but to help lead this political revolution. In this said new party, I will name it will be named the National American People's Party, or NAP. It is already in existence, but not fully a party quite yet. I come here and I speak to you today as one of you. I am part of the 99% that would be considered low-income, poor working class. I live in Flint, Michigan, which is America's hellhole. But for me, that doesn't matter. Those that are considered to be more fortunate are no better than us. We are all equals as human beings. As I see it, we have developed a problem in this country, and that problem is the class system. It has managed to separate us into particular groups. That is not the system we need to succeed. Rather, it is that which will inevitably bring us all down. Said class system is fueled by two things: money and greed. We as a society all across the world have allowed ourselves to become slaves to the almighty dollar. We have allowed ourselves to become slaves to paper, metal, and plastic. Things that hold no real value, rather they are given value. The value placed upon them has managed to give it the power over us, leading us to believe without it we have nothing, so we must obtain it by any means necessary. It has made us greedy. It has taken our focus from what is of true value, and that is life, our lives and the lives of our fellow man. The ability to love one another as equals, regardless of ethnicity or creed or sexual orientation. All people are special. Each of us is unique, and we all have something we will bring to this world and leave this world a better place. I'm starting this movement to help try to bring an end to all the separation that's formed in our country and bring everyone together. I have a wonderful vision of the future where we end the class system and bring in a real new world order of peace and prosperity for all, and not the new world order that the elite want for just a chosen few. If we do not unite, then we will cease to exist. And as I see it, it is simply because in the end we will destroy ourselves and one another. However, with a little initiative, we as the human race can stop this from happening and finally live in a world that's not filled with war, but rather with peace. We aren't meant to kill each other. We are meant to love each other regardless of who we are and where we came from. We are still human beings. We are all brothers and sisters, and as such, we should stand united. I know the top 1% is the group of people we are now demonizing against at the moment, but we must also realize that they too are just like you and me. They have just allowed themselves to become clouded, but by what has been deemed the appropriate way. It is not entirely their fault, for they are simply under the seduction of greed, which is so much like a drug. Just like a drug head will do anything to make sure they get that next high. The same goes with money and greed. Once they get that money, power generally follows. With power sets in greed. And once this occurs, it becomes just like a drug, leading that person into a spiral that many of us have one time seen or felt. However, for them, the high is socially acceptable and expected. Rather than casting them out, we should try to help them open their eyes and see things really need to change. I believe with enough people getting involved and helping, we could do this. I'm asking you to join in my movement and help me bring peace and prosperity to the United States and then perhaps the entire world. Through the movement, we can elect real leaders that actually care about the people and won't bend to the money of big corporations. in time becoming a united party that will perhaps overshadow the Republican and Democratic parties that have failed and divided our country. I am creating this movement and this party to try to change things for the better, to change things for all of us and for our future generations. Please help me show the world that we don't have to hate. We don't have to despise one another. On this earth there is room for everyone, and the earth is rich and can provide for everyone if we take care of each other. If only we take the time to give back to the planet we walk upon instead of us using it up as we have been to one another. The way life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost that way. We have developed speed, but barricaded ourselves within high walls. We develop machinery that gives us abundance, but has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical. Our cleverness has become harder and unkind. We now think too much, yet feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without having these qualities, life will just be violent and all will be lost. The internet, phones, airplanes, television, and the radio have all brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for a universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching throughout the world because of our technology and millions of suffering men, women, and little children, all victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people, should be listening. For of all of those who can hear me, I say to you now, do not despair. The misery and suffering that is now upon us is but a passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. This hate of men that has overcome us will pass, and these dictators shall die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty shall never perish. People, don't give yourselves to blind brutes, men and women who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives through the class system. They will tell you what to do, how to feel, how to think. Brutes who drug you, control your diet, treat you like cattle, use you as they please because they don't think you can think for yourselves. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural brutes of men who are so clouded by greed that they have tried to make you machine men and women with machine minds and hearts. My people, you are not machines. You are not cattle. You are humans. You all have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate. The unloved and the unnatural. People, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke, it is written that the kingdom of God is within man, not one man or a group of men, but in all of men. And you, the people, you have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life wonderful, adventure. So, in the name of democracy, let us use this power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a better, decent world that will give us all people a chance to work, that will give our children a future and the elderly security. These are things we need. But at the same time, we've allowed these brutes to rise to power, making promises to do those exact things. But they lie. They do not fulfill their promises. They never will. Political leaders free themselves, but they in turn enslave people. Thomas Jefferson said every generation needs its own revolution. Well, my people, it's time for our revolution. Now it's time to let us fight to fulfill those broken promises. Let us fight for a free world. To do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world with reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all human happiness. People, in the name of humanity, let us all unite. welcome everyone to episode 1 of my brand new podcast show, Frank Foster Jr., Voice of the Voiceless. It is Sunday, September 24th, and we have a great new podcast for you, the people. This podcast will be about spreading the word on the revolution and the movement and bring light to many secrets of the elite that they do not want brought to light. Over the podcast, we will have guest co-hosts to bring different viewpoints and insights on a vast amount of political topics to be discussed to help build upon the foundation given us by Bernie Sanders for this revolution. So to start, I shall